What's up, guys? I'm going to be carving this piece of birch into a serving spoon. Hope you enjoy. So first I'm going to start with drawing out what I want to make here. You know what? I'm going to use glass. Hopefully this isn't too big. It's just about the size that I want anyway, so. All right. There we go. So, what I'm gonna do here, probably can't see it that well. Yeah, so, you see it? Oh, there you go, just a little bit, yeah. That's what we're gonna do, so let's chop it out. Hope everybody had a fantastic week. It is Friday. Thank God. I got my my COVID booster 2 days ago. This is the first day that I felt good enough to do really anything. Didn't hit me as hard as the actual COVID shots, so I guess that's a good thing. But I also did get my flu shot too, so that could be why I felt like complete garbage for the last 2 days. So you know, you just gotta roll with the punches, I guess, sometimes. And with the way things are today, I feel like it's a lot more rolling with the punches than we want to, but as my dad would say, is. So front's always very tricky when you're trying to get that piece right there, right before it kisses that line. It's always very tricky. You have to be very precise. If this was a smaller spoon, I wouldn't be too concerned with it, because I could just get that with the knife. But since this is such a large spoon, I'm trying to take quite a bit off here. Save my wrists. And my knife. Some work. So that's what we got so far. Let's see if we get the handle kind of chopped out here. I hope you can see that. I am working this side. I have to have it this way to carve it. So let's crack it. So I got that pretty close right there on that line. I don't know if you can see that line. It's very dull, that line. The thing with the handles is I usually don't always make it directly right towards the line. I just try to get it as a rough estimate towards the line. Yeah, that happens too. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? So. Yeah, I forgot last time I was on here was Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a fantastic Thanksgiving. And they enjoyed time with friends and family. I know I did. Started some new traditions this year, which is cool. Especially after everything that happened last year with COVID and not getting to see family, which is crappy. Straighten that out. I like to try to stand offside to this, so if I do miss, I am not swinging into my leg. The bench is actually going to be the stop for my axe. Just trying to do a little bit of safety. Plus it's cold out today. I guess I shouldn't say it's cold, it's just more windy than anything. Now, I usually like to put some stop cuts into this piece of wood here and here, but since I'm already going so hard in the paint, I said screw it. Could also do that. I wish I could get you guys a better camera angle, but this is all I got for right now, guys. Alright, now you see how I'm getting so close to the See how I'm getting so close to the bowl here? I'm trying not to hit it too close, because if I hit this piece, see this piece is kind of peering out. If I hit it too hard, it's going to split all the way through the bowl. And I don't want to hit it through the bowl. I want to keep it all intact. So, I'm going to have to try it a different way. Same thing with this side. All you want for this is just really deep, powerful cuts. Kind of get those all to match up. Ooh, guys, that wind is nasty. I do have to do. Take a little bit more meat off this handle. Everything will kind of pair up a little bit here. It's not the absolute nicest carved job of the blank, or what you want to call a billet, but it is getting someplace with it. Sorry. See, I still got some stuff I gotta take off right there. But the lines, everything's there. I'm gonna do some knife work, and hopefully I get it to where I need it to be. So, just bear with me, guys. 2 seconds. Whoop. I'll leave the axe there. That's not something that I'll be primarily using from this point on, unfortunately. If you're just here for the axe work, there might be some more spots that I use the axe, but for right now, that's basically done. So now I'm going to start to use a spoon knife. What a spoon knife is this. See how it's hooked? Long crank handle on it. I'm going to use it to try to get the edges of the spoon rounded out. And this is some pretty thick shit here. Pardon my French. But it's some pretty tight stuff. You can see on the back, it really doesn't match up, but there's going to be a lot of carving that will get it to match up. See how it's cutting through that like butter? Spin it this way. It's just letting me utilize that crazy awesome angle on that blade, which is so cool. There's tons of different ways that these angles that these blades come in, which is awesome. The nice part about these blades is that you can take them and you can put them right in your backpack or whatever you're using for a hike. And you can go right out in the woods while you're on your day hike. You could find a nice fallen log and you could start carving right then and there. That's the joy about this spoon carving, is that you don't need to be amazing at it. And those that are, I mean, geez, they're fantastic. So I'm switching over to another thicker blade knife, try to take off some of the meatiness of this one spot that it's kind of an awkward angle to get to with the axe. I realize I'm not really getting the best angle there for you guys to see, but switch back over the hook knife. Retrace my lines just a little bit here. Knock that little burr right off of that. I am right on the line there. Don't know if you could see it. See it? Yeah, I'm right there on the line. And then this bottom one, I'm getting close. Getting real close on that one. Just crested on the line there, which is fine. We'll just straighten that out with the knife, the straight knife. And like I said, we still got a whole bunch of meat here that we have to take off. I usually like take it off with the knife, but it's such a weird angle that I decided to draw on this. So that's a rather large head there. So now I'm gonna try to put a slight crank in it right here. Probably should have did that a little bit sooner, but that's just the way I like to work, I guess. Make things difficult for myself, why not, right? Or maybe just leave it. I think I'm just gonna leave it. Screw it. Now, this isn't my traditional carving knife that I'm using. Usually I like to work with a much thinner blade carving knife, but because this is just such a big piece, I'm gonna take away some of the larger material with a bigger knife. If I spent more time planning this out, maybe I wouldn't have had to use such a big knife, but you're struck while the iron's hot sometimes, you know, boys and girls. So, right now, all I'm doing is working that back, working that defining back part, back and forth, back and forth. It doesn't look like much right now, but I'm telling you, it's gonna look like something a little bit. So, and I have a lot of material to remove out of the front of that. Now the next way I do that, it's not the prettiest. Sorry about the noise, guys. I like to work outside, even when it's cold out. Especially this time of year, because the wood will kind of stay a little bit frozen and keep the moisture content locked inside the wood. So as I'm carving, it doesn't dry out as much. So that's why I like working outside, even when it's cold. But there's some drawbacks to the neighborhood noise and just all different other types of stuff going on. You know what I mean? So, but what was I gonna say now? There's a dirty, filthy knot right there, and I'm not too happy about that. But God hates a coward, so I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna send it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna send it. So I think like once I get that bowl carved out, I am gonna cut this piece right here so it kind of goes up and back out. So it gives it kind of like a wave to it. It's a pretty decent sized spoon. Goes from basically the elbow, from the tips of my fingers to the middle of my crease of my elbow. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to carve this out with my hook knife. Let's see how that does. This is kind of an awkward angle to carve at. Never carved this angle before, so it's so I can let you guys see what the heck I'm doing. One of those ice cream scoops just coming right out. Out of all the stuff I like about carving, I think that the bowl carving is probably my favorite because it's just genuinely satisfying. And this and the axe work are probably the most dangerous parts about carving, and maybe I like it. Those are my two favorite, and maybe I just like both of those because they're the most dangerous part about such a, I guess, weird little hobby, or whatever you might want to call this. When you say to somebody that, like, you know, what do you like to do, and you tell them that you carve spoons, and you get like the weirdest looks, and nobody really quite understands what the hell you're talking about. So if you know what the hell I'm talking about, please like, drop a comment. So I'm gonna rotate. I might have to switch over to my bowl gouges for the rest of this. Did want to kind of do this all like right in front of you, but it's a lot more trickier when it's so big. That's what she said. To try to do what I want to do with it, unfortunately. So now I'm just working the back end here, just trying to find that cut. So took out a little too much there, but well, see, now it's getting a little bit more defined as you can look at it. Don't mind my big nose, but yeah. So, all right. Not gonna need the axe for the next couple minutes, so no, I don't have a vise, which sucks. Well, I don't have a vise out here, at least not yet. So I'm gonna have to use an ancient technique. I don't know if you guys are gonna approve, but let's see what happens here. So I'm gonna strap my ball gouge real quick. And then I'm gonna use my own homemade clamp on my foot. Not gonna lie, kinda sucks. What we got here? Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. My log's kind of slipping on me here. Not the product I'm carving, but my carving bench. Now you can see that I'm still just taking scoops right out of the bowl of the wood. And I wish it was just a little brighter out here. I would show you that there's ridges that when you carve, you're just gonna keep hitting each ridge that you've already worked out. That makes it a little easier to carve. This is going to be a deep bowl too, so this should be fun, the final product, to really use and work with in the kitchen. I'm sure that me and my wife will both enjoy using this, especially come sauce making season. I make it the sauce usually right around Christmas. I don't know, maybe it's just me or my family, but we always make sauce right before Christmas, and usually have some type of spaghetti or some type of pasta. We usually use our homemade sauces, to torture our relatives with our cooking, or maybe they do enjoy our cooking. I don't know, to be honest with you. Don't ask, and I personally don't care, but it is what it is. So now I'm working way too hard on trying to get that knot, or to knot that knot, because I don't want to mess with it. I really don't want to have to carve into that knot any more than I already am. And ultimately, my biggest concern is in the drying process, is if that knot does affect how it's going to dry. Is it going to crack there? It all depends how far that knot really goes through. It looks like it just goes right through the tip of that wood, which it's a fatal error on me for picking the wrong spot on the wood to decide to carve. So now I guess I'm gonna try this from this angle. All my lights right there. Hold on one second. I got like 5% left on my phone, so. Bacala. What is this? It all depends if I carve into that knot. Sometimes if you carve into the knot, it might actually make it, might not make it weaker, it might make it stronger. Knots are very resilient, but also at the same time, they're not resilient. It all depends on how that knot's formed. If that knot is very tight and it's not super fibrous, now if it's super fibrous, it's just going to spread wide open and crack. And I can't really tell. I think it is kind of fibrous, to be honest with you. So we'll, in retrospect, we'll just have to play roulette and see. I'm just gonna try this for a minute. Oh yeah, that feels fantastic on my hips. I need to get a bench for out here. And if you're wondering why this looks so difficult, it's because it is. I normally don't try to carve into knots like this, but you gotta make your bed and lie in it sometimes. So. Alright, well that's about as far as I'm gonna get with that knife. Oh, sorry, not that knife, with that gouge. So, let's see if I can finish out the rest of it with my hook knife. I mean, there's still so much to take out. If you see, I'm only maybe 1 knuckle deep, and this is probably a 2-knuckler. So, let's see. You see there's like another little baby knot right there, and that's the big knot that I'm really concerned with. And all that's just a little bit of metal staining from my gouge. It's not gonna hurt nothing. It'll come out with a little bit of sanding. I did just make a large serving spoon the other day, and I was out here yesterday, not overexerting myself, just doing a little bit of sanding on it, and unfortunately, right on the side, right in the gosh dang corner, right here, I was sanding it and it just cracked. So I did put it back in some water to kind of see if I could bring her back from, you know, the edge. I haven't checked on her, but it was a good maybe 13-inch long spatula, or not spatula, serving spoon. So like if you're getting into the bottom of your stock pots on stuff, it's really good to have something that big. Now don't forget, guys, like years ago, like your grandparents or your great grandparents, they didn't go to the store and buy spoons. They your grandfather, or your grandmother, or even your, like their kids would actually sit out and whittle and carve, and there was, you know, like they made all their own stuff. So this is kind of like a dying art here, and it's a fantastic thing to learn. It's really big over in Europe, but I'm seeing it more and more prevalent over in the US. Well, here in the US. I shouldn't say over here, yeah. Here in the US. Oh yeah. See that little snap? That was my wrist giving out. I want to try to keep this as smooth in here as possible. So every ridge that I take, I'm just taking a little bit more from that same ridge and just working it. Just taking ice cream scoops out. So you know how like you take a scoop of ice cream and it leaves that ridge? So then I go right to that very line of that same ridge and I rip it right up that side. Alright, so I'm going to put this one away. I think I got like maybe 2 minutes left before my phone completely dies. So I'm going to try using another knife. It's a different hook knife. I think maybe you can see it. There you go. Bam. So let's see what I can get out of this. Oh yeah, a little bit bigger scoops. Like I said, I'm still trying to be as smooth as possible because you want to stay smooth. That leaves you less work at the end to actually have to dig and scrape and sand. Now I have to be careful with this one. Oh, thanks, man. You too. You too, Andy. What was I gonna say now? This blade is double-sided, so blades on the right, blades on the left. So I can't touch that blade for assist, unfortunately, and it's sometimes really scary to use. So you gotta be careful. So I could take this a lot slower and pull out a little bit less material, but I'm not. What's up?
Keep starving.
Okay, well, I think that's it for now, guys. I'm gonna finish this on another video, so you guys take care. Have a great weekend. Keep calm. Peace.